My name is okay. My name is Taufik,
And my name is Anthony.
and this is the One Piece puzzle project for web development,
Web programming.
web programming.
Oh, it's not clicking. There we go. So I'm the leader of the project. Doesn't really mean anything, just that I'm turning in all the assignments. And so this is the One Piece puzzle. We're using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS to create a 4x4 sliding tile puzzle game that was inspired by One Piece. Got a lot of One Piece imagery.
We had to do four extra features in this project, and one of them was verifying that there was a windscreen displayed after the player successfully completed the puzzle. There was different steps to follow to include this windscreen, and the results were, of course, when all the tiles were placed in the correct places, a windscreen that says congratulations, you solved the puzzle would come up. And then it may also contain additional options like play again or exit, and it also has a pass fail criteria just as the rest of the features. In this test case, it's pretty much the same thing as the last one, except the description and the topic was verifying that there was a shuffle button that shuffles the tiles. But also there was steps to follow, expected results that we expected to see and we expect the user to see, and then a pass fail criteria at the end. In this third one, it was to verify that background music plays when the user presses the play button for the puzzle. And when we go over the description, when we go over the puzzle itself, we're not going to be able to hear the recording of the music just because we're recording through Zoom.
Oh yeah.
But whenever one goes to the website specifically, they'll be able to hear it. But we just can't show it through the video because of Zoom. But so we made sure that there was background music playing as the user can slide the tiles through and play with the puzzle. There were steps to follow as well, expected results, and a pass fail criteria for if the feature was added or not. And this is the last test case for the last extra feature that we have, which was verifying that there was different background images for the user to use, just depending on what they wanted to see, just so it was visually appealing for the user. There were steps to follow to make sure that we implemented this, expected results, and a pass-fail criteria for if it didn't work out. So you can.
Oh, okay. So Scrum Framework benefits. This is created by Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland. Scrum is a framework for addressing, maintaining, and sustaining complex products and problems. The products are produced at the highest efficiency and of the highest possible value. The team incorporated, oh, we did this. So we met up daily to discuss how we were gonna focus on different parts of the project. I wrote in my notebook, I had functions planned out how I was gonna write them with pseudocode, and yeah.
Yeah, through daily meetings, we shared our progress and just talked about what we had, what we can work on in the future, what we can work on today. Those are just the daily Scrum meetings that a Scrum team has. And during the sprint retrospective of the meeting, that's when we just reviewed each other's work and
Yep.
saw, what we felt like, okay, maybe you could have did this a little better, maybe you can change this. And then he did the same thing for me, just so that we could get the project completed as efficiently as possible.
Yep.
So this is just more of like a general understanding of how we assign the work in relation to the Scrum kind of background. But he constructed most of the code and then edited a lot of the code and worked with that as well. And then edited and make changes to the PowerPoint, and I constructed most of the PowerPoint and just information in the PowerPoint, and then edited, kind of just looked over and worked with the code. So it was like we bounced off each other. And since it was only two of us, we just kind of split the work in half in a sense.
Yep.
This is a code snippet just one section of our code that we use to make the puzzle. And this is an update move counter code. And this code snippet is used whenever a tile is pressed. It updates the move counter variable and displays the value on screen for the player to see how many turns he/she is taking. And this updates on every single click, and the data stored here is then later compared to the best score of the player, just so people can compare, okay, I did this many clicks compared to this many clicks.
Yep.
This is a display solution steps code snippet, and it's used whenever the puzzle has been solved. And it uses solution steps variable to display a list of the steps needed to have the puzzle needed to have solved previously in the puzzle. Another code snippet that we have is clear solution steps. And this code snippet is used to get rid of the list of solution steps for the previous shuffled puzzle. This function is called whenever a player clicks the play/shuffle button in order to declutter the screen and to avoid it seeming as if the displayed solution steps are for the current puzzle. It makes the list box empty. So all of these snippets go together along with the rest of the code just to make the puzzle work and make everything run smoothly and as we expected.
I can read this one. So this is a problem that we encountered. It was one of the major issues that we had, and it was basically that whenever we would shuffle the tiles, it would store the direction that the random movements would occur in an array. But whenever a player would click on a tile, it was not actually storing that direction correctly into the array. So whenever I would press the solve button, it would bug out and there would be extra rows, extra columns, and duplicated tiles. So in order to fix this, I looked through all the code and I realized that it wasn't actually the solve puzzle function that was the problem, but it was specifically the move tile function that would add a problem. So I went in and I changed some things and it made it so that the rest of the project we almost had no issues because it just it made everything else very simple. So yeah. And then that is the slides. So this is
That's the
the
end of the
code right
slideshow.
here.
So Anthony's just about to give, a quick general rundown of our code and everything that it consists of for the most part in general terms.
Yep, so this is just the HTML file. This is just the structure of the program. There is not much stylization here because that's all in the CSS file. So here we have this is the puzzle container right here, and then this is just the basic audio connecting to the JavaScript file right here. And then here's the CSS file. This is just the style sheet. Very simple, not a lot. And then the JavaScript file is right here. Bunch of functions, shuffle array, the render puzzle, and then down here, let me see if I can click specifically where it starts. So here, this is all of the like code snippets. These are functions that were used multiple times, and so I simplified everything by just making them their own function so that I wouldn't have to rewrite the same thing over and over again. And so yeah, this is the code snippet, and then now I can show the actual, oh, not from here, hold up. Close this. Right here, go live. So let me turn this off. There is music in this, but it does not show up in the video. You cannot hear it. So this is the actual web page. There's a link here to go to the W3C validator, and then you can just play as you would normally when you hover the tiles, they get green text and an underline and a red outline. You can shuffle it. You can also change the image at any point. So I can move these tiles around and then switch the image and the tiles stay in the same spot while the image is there. And then if I want to solve it, I can. by pressing the solve button, easy. And then this is all the steps that I would have required, I would have needed to do in order to solve it. And I can do this. And now that would be me moving that down is just so that the program thinks that I'm solving it. And then so this would also play another music sound, and then the whole page changes, show that the victory has happened. And then if you want to play again, you just press shuffle again, and then
And it
there
goes
you go.
back to default. As you can see, the background went from blue to orange. So when it hit blue, that's when we know, like, okay, the puzzle has been solved. And as he said, you'll hear the victory music and just different music.
Yep. So I think that's it.